Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to talk about Kenshi. What is Kenshi? Well, I'm glad that you asked. The game takes place in a post-apocalyptic world where the player takes on the role of a nobody. You are not the chosen one nor the main character of some epic narrative. The player must explore the world, gather resources, recruit allies, and develop their character's skills in order to survive and thrive in the harsh environment. The game focuses on sandbox gameplay features that give the player freedom to do what they want in the world instead of focusing on a linear story. Essentially, the game is incredibly brutal and extremely difficult. Understand? Good. Now that you're caught up, we can begin the video. Viewer discretion is advised. Enjoy.
I'm fascinated by the new AI technologies that are becoming available to us, so I decided to incorporate them into my new Kenshi series. By using ChatGPT and the Kenshi wiki, I was able to create individual backstories for each of my characters, and even write a few scenes. The dialogue is a little corny at times, but the fact that the AI can use the wiki to write this stuff blows my mind. I really hope that you enjoy the results. Kenshi. What can I say? More than a game, it's a way of life. It's the kind of game that a kid who grew up playing games like Age of Empires, Empire Earth, and Baldur's Gate would fantasize about. Being able to control your own faction and troops, while also being able to individually control each soldier, it's a micromanager's dream. Anyways, I'd like to make a video series on my new playthrough. There are some wild stories that can be told in Kenshi, especially if you download a few mods. Let me just add a mod or two and we're ready. I'll be starting this playthrough with my man Roscoe. Look at that beautiful face. He's still so innocent.
Hey there, I'm new around here. I'm looking to get my hands on some meat.
Since this isn't my first playthrough, I started with the plan, and here's how it went. I began in the hub, and started by grabbing all the loose items in order to sell for meat. Starvation is a real threat in this game. You've got to make sure that you're prepared. And food is pretty expensive in the beginning, so for now I'm just going to stock up on as much dried meat and gristle that I can. Now that I've got a little food, I make my way over to Squin. The first phase of my plan is pretty easy. I need to mine copper, save up for a trader's backpack, fill up that trader's backpack, and then train my strength. I like this particular copper vein that is located right outside of Squin. I can easily farm the copper that I need, and if I'm ever in any danger, I can just sprint towards the city gates and let the guards protect me. Oh! Speak of the devil! I think the biggest threat that I need to worry about in this spot are starving bandits, so I should be fairly safe to farm for a while. I was looting during one of the skirmishes between guards and bandits when apparently I assaulted one of the guards, who quickly apprehended me and locked me away. Off to a great start. I had no lockpicking ability, so I couldn't even attempt to escape. My only option was to wait. And wait. Until I served my time and I was finally released. Yay! Upon release, I realized that the guards had confiscated all my belongings. I'm sorry for whatever I did. I really don't know. I got lucky and was able to loot a hill marauder that had gotten into a tussle with the guards. So with that, I got back to mining, and eventually I had enough cats to afford myself that trader's backpack. I quickly filled up that backpack, and now it was time to train my strength. Here's a little trick that I used to save myself a lot of time. Kenshi is an incredible game, but it can be extremely time consuming. When I'm trying to quickly build strength, I like to enable a 10 times strength mod to speed up this process. Once I get to my desired level, I disable the mod and turn it back to a 2 times strength mod that I normally use. This will save you literal hours of walking around aimlessly just to build strength. Anyways, back to Roscoe. While training my strength, I got lucky and stumbled across a group of marauders and bandits who had been fighting. I was able to loot some gear, and best of all, a body. Walking with a full trader's bag and while carrying a body will increase your strength and experience rate up to 500%. It's incredible. Once I got my strength to a good enough level, it was time to initiate the next part of my plan. I now needed to level up my toughness skill. This can be tricky, but toughness is essential to surviving in the wasteland. Luckily, I know of a little method to boost the toughness skill rather quickly. First, I needed to get my hands on some heavy armor, so I continued to mine copper until I could buy a cheap set of samurai armor. Now that I've got a set of heavy armor, it's time to make my way to Skinner's Roam. Skinner's Roam is a great place to level your toughness because there are huge groups of starving bandits that make it a lot easier to boost your skill. Just make sure to keep an eye out for beak things, bone dogs, or striders because they'll eat your body if you get downed. You receive a bonus on your toughness skill when you make a character stand up from playing dead. The more enemies that are in your proximity, the more of a bonus you'll receive. To be honest, this process can be tedious and risky, but it can really help to forge your character into the ultimate survivor that you want them to be.
Come back here, you cowards!
One trick that I like to do that might save you some headache is to keep all of my food in a backpack and then drop my backpack before I engage with the bandits. This way, the bandits only steal my cats and not my food. I can always make more cats, but if I lose my sustenance out here, I'm pretty much doomed. I also like to set up a little camp so that I can rest and heal in between fights and cook any meat that I might find during my time in Skinner's Roam. It took some time, but using this process, I was able to level my toughness skill up to 70, which was good enough for now. At some point during my training, I made the dumb decision to swap out my samurai chest piece for a holy one and attracted the unwanted attention of some of Okran's followers. This was Roscoe's first real brush with combat, so I was eager to see how he fared. Roscoe managed to defend himself and neutralize all the witnesses, though luckily he was still a nobody in the eyes of the Holy Nation. After that, I made my way to Okran's Pride, where I planned to build my city. I chose this spot because in my opinion, it's relatively safe and not super aggravating to deal with. As long as I make sure that my people have a copy of the Holy Flame and participate in the weekly prayer days, I'll have a safe and secure place to grow my faction. It's also a bonus that I just happen to be located near the first city that I plan to take from the Holy Nation. After arriving in Okran's Pride, Roscoe makes his way to the city of Stack, where he has just enough cats to afford a bed for the night and recover from the injuries that he got while in Skinner's Roam. Now that he was back in civilization, Roscoe needed to make some cats. So he set out from the city to begin his adventure of mining copper. Exciting, I know. While unwinding in the bar one night after a hard day's work, Roscoe met another patron who offered his services in exchange for paying off his bar tab.
Hey there, I couldn't help but notice you playing that lute over there. You're pretty good.
Thank you, I appreciate that. My name's Bard.
I'm Roscoe. Listen, I've got an offer for you. I'm putting together a squad of people to help me build an empire, and I think you might be a good fit.
Oh really? What do you need?
I need someone with some smarts about them, and more importantly, I need someone who's willing to fight for a cause, and I'm willing to pay you for your services.
I see. Well, I'm not sure. I'm kind of comfortable here.
How about this? I'll pay off your bar tab, and you can join my squad. But before that, you need to get a haircut. Your hair's a bit, well, let's just say it's not doing you any favors.
My hair? What's wrong with my hair?
Let's just say, I've seen beak things with better hair than that. But don't worry, I know a guy who can fix you up.
Alright, you've got a deal.
Roscoe agreed to the arrangement and now had his first traveling companion, Bard. And now that we doubled our party size, you know what that means. It's time to mine. Yeah, this part's a little boring. I was literally writing the script while I was mining, but this is the fastest and safest way to make cats early on. I decided to put Bard through the same training regiment that Roscoe had undertaken, and while on our way back to Skinner's Roam, we ran across a beast trader, and I had just enough cats to adopt my very own bone dog. Meet Balto. Isn't he a cutie? Once back in Skinner's Roam, Bard began his training while Roscoe ran to a nearby settlement to get more bandages for the squad. This round of training took just as long as the first, but it was a little easier since I had Roscoe around to carry Bard back to the camp to heal. I also managed to kill one of those pesky looters and get my hands on a giant backpack. We also got extremely lucky and came across a Holy Nation caravan that had come under attack by beak things. Roscoe was able to sneak in and loot the remains for a nice haul of rations and healing supplies. So with full backpacks, the trio headed back to Okran's Pride. After arriving in the city of Stack, Roscoe purchased a small shack so that the group would have a home to work out of. During the day, Roscoe and Bard would mine copper while Balto kept watch. And during the nights, Bard would use his intellectual skills to research new technologies for the group. Then, on one night, Roscoe decided that it was time to recruit more members, so he returned to the bar and asked if there were any people who were looking to be a part of something great.
Greetings, Wastelanders. My name is Roscoe, and I'm looking for a few good men and women to join my elite squad. We're going to be making some serious cats, and we need the best of the best to help us get it.
I am Bjorn, a warrior of the north. Tell me, Roscoe, what kind of battle are we facing?
We'll be facing all kinds of battles, Bjorn. From bandits to wild animals, we'll be taking on all comers. But with your skills, I have no doubt that we'll come out on top.
I'm Hilda. I don't care much for battles or riches, but I can't survive alone in this wasteland forever. What's in it for me?
Well, Hilda, for starters, you'll have a group of trustworthy people to watch your back. But if that's not enough, I'll sweeten the pot. We'll be taking on some of the most lucrative jobs out there. You'll be making more cats than you ever thought possible.
I am Griffin, follower of Okran. What proof do you have that you are the one from my vision?
Proof? I don't need to prove anything to you, Griffin. You can either join us and help make a better future for everyone, or you can stay here and wait for the end of the world. It's up to you.
I'll join you, Roscoe. The thrill of battle and the chance to earn a fortune are too great to ignore.
I'm in, but don't expect me to be excited about it. I just need to survive, and I think you might be able to help me with that.
What about you, Griffin? You seem a little unsure about joining our squad.
Oh, I'm sure, Roscoe. I'm just not sure if you're the one I should be following. You could be leading us all into a trap for all we know.
Don't be a coward, Griffin. If there's combat to be had, I'll take it on.
Combat is just a small part of survival, Bjorn. We need to be careful who we follow, and make sure we can trust them.
Well, trust me when I say, you won't find a better opportunity to get rich and make a name for yourselves in this wasteland than with my elite squad.
Ahaha. I'll believe it when I see it, Roscoe. I'm not so easily swayed from my beliefs.
And what beliefs are those, Griffin? That you'll find the truth of the first extinction all on your own? I'd rather have someone watching my back.
Bjorn has a point, Griffin. We can't do this alone forever. And if we don't take risks, we'll never know if we can truly survive in this wasteland.
Good, good. For now, you two should both be excited for what we're about to do. We'll be making history, mark my words.
Now that we had Bjorn and Hilda on mining duty, Bard could focus all of his attention into research, while Roscoe and Balto hunted and gathered for food. The team was coming together rather nicely. After a few days, we finally had enough resources to begin constructing our actual base. And of course, the pesky Holy Nation sent out a prayer group before our base was even finished. But luckily, our silver-tongued Bard was able to appease them.
Hey Okranites, can't you see? Your prayers won't save you, just let it be. So why waste your time on bended knee, when you could be out here, running free?
And then that very night, a group of hill marauders decided to pay us a visit and attempted to extort cats from us. But I know better than to play their silly games. We told them off and continued about our business. My plan is to hide my squad and food when the bandits come back for revenge, and just let Roscoe hide in the shadows and wait until the raid is over. Eventually, I'll reach a point where I can defend myself, but for now, I'll have to rely on my wit. Things were looking up for my little band of misfits. I even met another beast trader and was able to purchase another bone dog and welcome Bella into the party. We were now stocking up on resources, allowing us to build an upgraded research bench, which will allow us to improve our technology and overall chances of survival. While the rest of the group was hard at work, Roscoe made yet another visit to the local bar in an attempt to find more recruits.
Hey, what are you working on there?
Oh, just some gadgets. I used to be an engineer for the Holy Nation, but they exiled me when I disagreed with one of their high-ranking officials.
Really? That's quite a story. You must be quite skilled then.
I'd like to think so.
Can we get to the point? I'm getting tired of all these speeches.
Listen, Dinesh, I'm putting together an elite squad of skilled individuals to help me achieve a very important goal. If you join us, I can promise you a life of prosperity and adventure.
That does sound tempting. What exactly is this goal?
Let's just say it's something that will change the wasteland forever. And with your engineering skills, you could be a valuable asset.
Oh great. Another one of these speeches.
All right, count me in. I could use a change of pace.
Excellent. You won't regret this decision.
Yeah, I'm sure he won't.
And who knows, maybe one day even you, Griffin, will see the light and join us.
Don't count on it.
Looking forward to it, Roscoe. Let's make something great.
That's the spirit, Dinesh. You and I are going to do great things together.
Now that we had a solid engineer on our team, we could really expand our base. With the team coming together, I decided that I should probably toughen them up a bit. So they gathered their things, and we made our way back to Skinner's Room. If you couldn't tell, I really like Skinner's Room. It can be very dangerous, but as long as you're wary, you can generally make it out unscathed. I like it mainly because of the toughness training trick, but you can also get lucky and find groups of paladins, Czech, or even tech hunters who have gotten attacked by beak things or some other wasteland horror. This is a nice way to get some decent gear early on without really angering any faction. I essentially just repeated the training process from before, but this time I rotated out Bjorn, Hilda, and Dinesh, while Roscoe ensured that everyone survived their beatings. I was also able to send Roscoe to the nearby settlement to sell any of the various loots we had gotten during our training sessions to make some extra cats. After I was satisfied with my ragtag group of mercenaries, we packed up camp and made our way back to Okran's Pride.
Skinner's Room is no place to snooze, but our training makes us scar and bruise.
The world of Kenshi can be a cruel place, but it can also be fruitful if you're lucky enough. I was fortunate enough to experience one of these lucky days when a group of skeleton traders traveled a little too close to one of the holy nations, causing the guards to attack them. Roscoe was able to quickly loot the traders before the guards could confiscate any of the valuables. We got our hands on some nice technology, but unfortunately, the holy nation considers technology to be sinful, so we'll need to offload this somewhere else. Lucky for me, there's a bar located nearby that isn't controlled by the holy nation. Hell yeah, that was a nice payday. Now Roscoe can use these newly earned cats to go recruit that annoying guy in the bar from earlier.
Griffin, my man, how are you doing?
What do you want? Roscoe.
I just had a fortunate run-in with a skeleton trader. Made a nice payday.
How much did you make?
Enough to convince you that I'm the wanderer from your vision.
You have enough cats to make it worth my while.
I do indeed. But first, let's make sure we're on the same page. I'm not interested in fulfilling some prophecy, but I do intend to make the wasteland a better place and help the weak and innocent. Are you in or not?
I don't know. My path is still unclear.
Come on, Griffin. Think of all the excitement and adventure we'll have. You'll be a part of something great.
Hey, I overheard you guys talking. I want in too.
Sorry, my friend. We're looking for skilled individuals. I don't think guarding a gate counts as a skill.
Oh man, that stings.
Fine. I'll join your little group. But if I sense that you are beginning to stray from this path that you've embarked on, I will not continue to follow you.
Deal. Welcome aboard, Griffin.
While the group was hard at work, Roscoe headed over to the nearby city of
Blister Hill.
to find even more recruits. As luck would have it, one of the bar's patrons happened to be a swordsman who was looking for work.
Mind if I sit?
I don't know you.
Name's Roscoe. I'm looking for honorable warriors to join my cause.
And what cause is that?
To bring peace and justice to this land. To fight for those who can't fight for themselves.
My village was attacked by swamp raiders and I was unable to save them. I have lost my place in this land, Roscoe.
I'm sorry for your loss, but your skills as a swordsman can be put to good use. We need people like you.
And what do you offer in return?
A chance to make a difference. A chance to avenge your people. And a chance to find a purpose.
The name's Herodo. I hereby pledge my blade to your cause. But know this, Roscoe. Betray me, and I will not hesitate to take you down.
I wouldn't expect any less. Welcome to the team.
Don't get too excited. I still need to see what you're made of.
Ha, I wouldn't have it any other way.
Are you going to purchase anything? I make the best dust witch in the kingdom.
A few nights later, the bandits returned for their revenge, but we were ready. The squad quickly grabbed their valuables and ran to stack to stay protected, while Roscoe hid in the shadows, awaiting the bandit attack. He didn't plan on fighting, but while hiding, Roscoe noticed a band of paladins begin engaging with the bandit, so he took the opportunity to join the fight. After the fight, Roscoe was able to stock up on ninja blades and even some decent ninja armor. I don't want to jinx us, but so far, things have been going our way. And that just about sums up the first video for my new Kenshi series. I know that it wasn't the most eventful or exciting video, but I really wanted to showcase the humble beginnings of my new faction and share the thought process behind my new playthrough. I really appreciate it that you've made it to this point in the video. Please consider liking and subscribing so that you can see what happens to Roscoe and his companions in the next episode.
Goodbye, for now.